So today what we're going to be going over is we're going to be doing over Red Hot Lonza. So I've got a pre-done model here for you, and this is her style. This is before I have give it expansion, and this is after. So I will be showing you a cut, a color. I'm going over all of the fall reds and all the trends that you see today. So here is Miss Mannequin 1 all ready and done for you guys. And then I also am going to be showcasing, essentially I have used, this formulation was 60 grams of violet mix with 40 grams of R mix. And then I use Lonza Vibes on the ends. And I mean, look how gorgeous that is. So I'm, going to be showcasing you all the different reds as well as going over like I said, a cut and a style on each of these mannequins as well. And I will show you all that at the end. So if you guys could, tell me where you guys are tuning in from, please, in the comments. And I am coming to you from the gorgeous state of North Carolina. I live in Bryson City, North Carolina, or North Kakalaki as I like to call it. And essentially what I'm showcasing today is the power of, using mixed tones and vibes when doing reds. Because as you can see, my mannequin here, she has a dark base and pre-lightened ends. So what I'm going to be doing is on her base, I'm going to be taking 7 grams of R mix with 3 grams of G mix and applying that at, where she is brown. And I'm going to do that with 40 volume, which sounds really scary, but that's the same thing I did over here on this mannequin. And as you see, it just gives me that brightness that I'm looking for. It doesn't make it, hot because she's already got, the brown. So, when you think about mixing reds, and have you ever mixed a red? Type in the comments or send me a heart if you've ever mixed up a red and you get done and you're like, you've got to go take them outside in the sun because you're like, okay, well, that's not as red as what I would think. Well, think about it. You've essentially, you already have the brown. The hair already has the brown. So you just need to go in and give it the brightness. And your brightness is going to come from your developer, but also your color, your color choice. So instead of adding a level to the red, just, use a mixed tone. And then I'm also showcasing, because Vibes is my favorite hair color. So I'm going to be putting Vibes on the ends. And this is 70 grams of red with 30 grams of gold. Now, my reasoning for choosing red, adding gold into red, you're thinking, Cameron, maybe wouldn't that make orange? Not in 7-3, not in that ratio. It's not going to. And what the gold is going to do is provide the brightness that I'm looking for in the red. So if you guys could, for me, please type in the comments where you guys are tuning in from. I love to get to know you guys. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. Like I said, I have been using Lonza for the past 4 years, and I have been a healing artist for almost a year now. This live is very special to me because I absolutely love curly hair and I love vibrant hair color. And I think that one important thing to know is, don't be scared of doing curls and don't be scared of doing vibrant reds, because here's the thing. If I do this color on her and she's like, wow, that's super bright. Thank you, Kansas. Kansas in the house. Love it. If she's like, wow, that's super bright, you can always tone it down. But once I have went in and added too much brown into my formula, I have to go back in and lighten. And we don't want to have to do that. So save yourself some time. And again, another reason why that I would choose to use Vibes on the ends as opposed to Healing Color, Vibes is, as we know, or as you may not know, Vibes is a non-oxidative deposit-only color. And what that means is you don't have to mix it with the developer. So, you see her ends are already lighter, so I've already got the brightness. And I don't want to, where I'm using 40 volume on the base, I don't want to hollow out the ends as much because they're already light enough. So I chose to use Vibes in my formulation. And I think that's really important when you're thinking about reds. I think we get stuck into like, oh, we just need to use one color. Well, sometimes you need to use more colors, or, in my case, I've pre-lightened. And I did pre-lighten her with Lonza. I don't know if you can see in the back. Let me move you guys. I apologize. With powder decolorizer and clay equal parts. And that's how I got this beautiful balayage on her. And then, of course, I actually prepped her with, as you can see in the back, the Lonza Ultimate Treatment here. And I chose to use 3 pumps of the strength booster and 3 pumps of the moisture booster with 2 pumps of the deep treatment itself. And then, of course, these mannequins have air dried over the weekend. And then I'll also add, I always make sure to apply my color attach step 1 before doing any color service. Essentially, think of the hair like a piece of like Swiss cheese, if you will. I'm a cheese guy, so cheese makes sense to me. So, think of the hair like a piece of Swiss cheese, and it has all these holes in it from environmental aggressors, damage, etc. So when you go in and you apply color attach step 2, it essentially, with the help of adding trauma treatment into your formulation, it essentially goes in and makes that piece of Swiss cheese like provolone. And then picture the color like food coloring. If I go on and I have 2 pieces of cheese here, and I'm going to be applying food coloring. Oops, I'm sorry, mannequin. I'm going to be applying food coloring to each one. Which one do you think is going to hold more color? The one that's flat and has sealed and no holes in it, or the Swiss that has holes in it? So essentially, that's kind of the way I like to describe adding, color attach and trauma treatment into the mix. So that's really important to know. I think one thing that about reds is you need to make sure that you are treating the hair and making sure that you're going to have an even and bright color deposit. So I see some new people tuning in. Thank you guys all for joining me here on Monday. I'm Cameron, and I'm here to teach you all about lawns of reds. I want to go over a little bit too about the formulation that I did on this mannequin here. So I actually chose to do healing color on her base, and then I chose to do vibes on her ends, and I absolutely love that. And this is the style we're going to be showing you later, how this looks, once you let the style set, and then this is the style after you brush out. So just want to show that. And I've also done my 360 haircut that I'm going to be showcasing for you on this mannequin here. And, when you're thinking about the 360 haircut, just to kind of give you guys a little bit going into it that are just joining in, the 360 haircut is universal and you can utilize it on, really any hair type, but it's really great for curls because it's going to keep the length at the bottom while also making sure to give them the layers and the, kind of movement that they're looking for. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Can you guys type in the comments for me again too, where you guys are tuning in from for anybody that's just joining in? So again, we are taking our healing color with our vibes formula, and we are, we're doing healing color up here at the base, because we've already got our brown. And then we are doing our vibes on the ends, and I'm just using a film just to keep my area nice and clean. And then I'm going on, and this is about my 5th section now. And again, I'll show you guys one more time. So again, we're going to be taking our healing color here, our 70 grams of R mix with 30 grams of G mix. And again, for anybody just tuning in, the reason why I've added G into the mix is to give brightness. And the reason why I'm choosing not to use a level is because I already have a level here. The brown is my, the mannequin's natural level is my level. And I don't want to brown her out more by adding in something like, in this case, I don't want to add in like 6RR. Nothing wrong with 6RR, but you have to think about 6RR has brown in it, just like all of our colors that are pre-blended. And as amazing as that is, sometimes you want more brightness, and I know that I want more brightness. So again, to show you kind of what I'm talking about with, doing that, this was with R mix and V mix at her base with 40 volume. So as you see, it just gives you that nice kind of, mulberry look, and it didn't brown her out. So that's sort of the same thing that I'm doing here with this color application. And then make sure you guys tune back because I will also be showing the finished model later on the comments back here. So make sure you guys tune back in. And again, I am taking my Vibes hair color. And again, I'm making sure, if you'll notice, I'm making sure to, they're just kissing. They're not touching, because they are, thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. I don't want them to touch. I just want them, to kiss. And as you'll notice, I like to go in on kind of a horizontal or even a diagonal to apply, just to ensure that I'm not creating any kind of lines within my look. So I'm going to do one more section for you guys, and then I am going to we're going to transition into our haircut. Hello, Ruthie. Thank you for joining. And thank you, Amy, for joining as well. So we'll do one more section, and then we will be moving on into the cut portion of this segment. So for anybody tuning in, can you guys please type in the comments where you guys are tuning in from? I absolutely love getting to know you guys. For me, this is like hanging out with my friends on a Monday. So you guys are all my friends here today. I'm like a you can sit with us, more is more kind of person. So welcome to you all for being here. Thank you so much. Jackie, I believe that's how you say your name. I apologize. I'm terrible with names. So thank you very much for saying that. So again, we're going to take our Bob's formula here, and I'm going to make sure I go hit underneath first, just to make sure that I've got even coverage. And again, see, I'm going in and just kind of kissing it up right to that healing color. And again, that's going to create, here's a different formulation, but what I've just showed you, this is what that's going to create. So you're going to have a nice deep base. And then I used vibes on the ends with her, red and violet. And you see how absolutely gorgeous, how gorgeous she is. So, hello, my friend from India. How are you doing? Thank you for joining in. This is kind of what the look we're going for. Again, this is a different formulation, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys, these are probably our most asked for reds. We have a copper red, we have a violet red, and then we have, a true, like what I call Ronald McDonald red, which I absolutely love. So, these are kind of the, what is hot for fall, and I wanted to show you guys a little bit different, think about it a little bit different other than just utilizing, your traditional level. So thank you so much. So with y'all's permission, we're going to move on. And like I said, make sure to check back because I will be showing her finished result later. I just want to make sure that you guys, get the most out of this live today. And I feel like when we think about curls, I don't feel like we get to see, curls have not got the love that they deserve. So if you can, if you agree with that it's time for the curly girls and guys to have, the time they deserve, type in the comments yes for me, please, or curls, or just give me a heart. So real quick, I'm just going to section here, and what I'm going to do on her, I'm going to do my 360 haircut. So essentially what a 360 haircut is we are going to, be preserving, like on here, we're going to be preserving the length at the bottom, and we are going to be adding in, movement and layers at the top. So that's kind of how curl love. Yes. Thank you so much, Brittany. Let me grab my water bottle here. Sorry, guys. We'll just I'm going to use, I'm going to use my Moi Moi Mist. The reason why I would want to use this is to add hydration and give a more luxurious experience to my client. So I'm going to turn her around for you. I've already established my perimeter, and essentially I want to keep as much length as possible with this cut today because I will be using this mannequin again. And I essentially want to show you that, you guys can utilize this cut on, essentially any length. So, the cut is just to give you some inspiration, and you guys can choose at home, what you want to do with the cut. So we're going to be taking our comb here, and then we are going to be, essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in at the top, and I'm going to decide where I want to see my layer. So yes, it is way past time for appreciation for the curls. And thank you so much to Diane for saying that about my work. So one thing I like to do when I'm cutting curls is a lot of times I like to cut dry. The reason for me wanting to cut dry is essentially I want to make sure that I'm not having too much shrinkage. And until I really know someone's curl, I don't want to go in and add, a bunch of short layers and her hate me forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sort of think of it as like a triangle section at the top. I'm going to show you guys, sorry. And I am going to establish this is going to be our guide for everywhere else around the head. So make sure when you're establishing where your guide is, that you're going to make sure that, you have enough hair to move around. So I'll show you guys in just a second. I apologize. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So again, we're essentially, I'm going to just be taking kind of, sort of a triangle at the top. And essentially then I'm going to go in and I'm going to decide, okay, where do I want my length to fall? And, like I said, I'm going to be utilizing her again, so I'm not going to be taking a ton off. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I am going to decide that we are going to, we're going to take off about like that. So again, this is establishing our guide for our 360 haircut. So, and then from that, it's simple as that. And then we let those sections down. And then from there, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go in and, here's my guide now. So everything's going to fall back up to the guide. So this is super easy, super simple. This is kind of a little bit of it's like a layered look, but this is going to preserve all of the length. Excuse me, I'm in the way. Preserve all of the length for your client, especially when you have curls. So essentially we're going to take everything up, and that's where it gets its name, the 360 haircut. We're going to find our guide, which our guide is right there, as you can see, and we're going to cut to our guide. And then that's going to fall down. And then we're going to take our next section right underneath that, and we're essentially going to pull that up. And you're going to, eventually, like you'll see, this down here does not reach. And again, that's kind of what we want because, we want to preserve that length. So, once just whatever doesn't reach, just let it fall out. And then we're just going to pull up. Again, find our guide there and just cut and let it fall. And then you can kind of see where it starts to give you that layered look, but it's very blended. And like I said, it really is going to go good with any hair type, but especially with curls. And again, this is sort of what that creates. You can see how she's got layer, but it still preserved all that gorgeous length on the bottom. So I'm just going to continue here, show you guys some more sections. Again, we're going to find our guide at the top, which is up here. That's where we decided that we want all the length to go to. Take our next section. And again, this is a little bit like a free form of cutting. Whenever I'm doing curls, I do like to free form. The reason for that is, curls are kind of going to do whatever they want, and we ain't got no business telling them what to do. They're going to tell us what to do. So, I like to just kind of go fluid with it. And, then check everything at the end, after I've washed and styled, because again, I like to cut my curls dry. So again, you can see we have our guide right there, and then we're going to pull all of this up and cut to the guide, let it fall, and then we'll take our next section. We'll bring all the hair all the way up. And again, you're going to, as you can see, you're going to have some hair that ends up falling out at the bottom, and that's okay. That's what we want. Again, that's going to give us that elongation. Again, our guide is right there. If you guys can see, I'm so sorry. So guide is there, and then I'm just going to cut to my guide and allow her hair to fall. You can start to see how, she's getting some shape in there. So let me make sure that I've not missed anybody. If you guys have any questions about anything that I've done so far or what we're doing today, just type in the comments for me. I've been trying to, go along with the comments, but sometimes I lose my place. So again, we're going to find our guide here, and our guide is there. We're going to pick up our next section. And a little bit about me, guys, honestly, like cutting is something, when I first started doing hair, cutting was something I really struggled with. So, for me to get on here and teach cutting, I was super excited because I feel like cuts, a lot of times people are like, hold it at this degree, hold it at that degree. Well, that is important because we do have to have some uniformity, but like, I didn't understand that because I'm like, you don't have a protractor, so that's why I like to come up with techniques like this that make cutting simple, especially for our curly people out there. So you see, let me pull my guide here. So my guide is right there. And then again, I'm keeping this section long, but then I'm just going to cut even to my guide and let that fall. And then I'll do one more section for you guys. And for anybody just joining in, can you guys type for me where you guys are from? I would love to know where everybody's tuning in from. And again, we're going to take our last section, and again, we're kind of pulling our guide. Now, again, we're going to leave a little bit of length in the front, and then we are going to just cut right there. And then as you see, again, I've left her, her length. I want to preserve her length because I want to utilize her again. But you can start to see how, she's going to have this great, beautiful kind of curly shape, and again, it's basically just to preserve length, but also give her a fun and layered haircut. So, like I said, I absolutely love this technique on all of my curly girls, but this is also a really great way to even do like a modern shag as well. So, like I said, this is not just for curls. This could be for straight hair as well. Um, so does anybody have any questions? I just want to make sure. I hope I've not missed them. And thank you guys for all tuning in for me today. So again, we're going to find our guide here. And again, you see my guide is right there. Everyone see that? And then I'm just going to take and cut to my guide. And then again, we're going to let that fall. And, notice how, again, you don't have to worry about like, oh my gosh, is this going to blend? It's going to blend beautifully. Because again, you'll take your next section. And it will agree with these sections. I should have wet her down, guys. I apologize for that. I got excited when I was mixing color. So again, we'll take our next section, which is down from the bottom, and we're just going to lift that up and see what we need to cut. And like I said, eventually we will just run out of areas to cut. Because again, we want to preserve that length. There's the start of my guide. And then as you can see, when I hold this up, everything, I'll take that piece too. Everything underneath that is still too long for it to actually be cut. But once I hold that down, you see how, now she literally is going to have the most beautiful, kind of layers. And again, I've done this dry just to make sure that I preserve the length. But I don't know, can everyone see that? So again, you start to see how, she's still going to have a lot of length on the ends. And then she's going to be kind of nice and layered and almost like, think of it as like shagalicious on the top. So that's sort of the cut that we are going for. What are you guys' struggles when coming with curls and cutting? Can you guys type in the comments if you guys are having any struggles when cutting curly hair? Or even coloring curly hair or styling curly hair. Because, of course, I'm also going to be going over a style segment for you guys here in just a minute, too. So if you guys have any struggles, I would love to help you guys with that. And again, I'm taking my Moi Moi Mist just to make sure to give shine and give a luxurious experience to my client while cutting her hair. And again, protect her gorgeous color from those UV rays. Volume in the curls without affecting the length. So that is a great question. Thank you so much for that, Brittany. So actually, this technique is sort of going to give you that. It's going to give you when cutting. Yes, I got you. This is going to give you that. So again, you're going to have volume within this cut. So again, we've established our guide at the top. And then you are, you're going to preserve your length at the bottom. So again, we pull all this sectioning up. Oops, so sorry, guys. And we're going to cut to our guide here. And then as you see, again, I'm going to double check. I'm going to pull this section up. And take it all the way to the top and find my guide. I'll move you guys around here just a little bit. I'm sorry. Can everyone see? And then we're just going to take up to our guide and cut. And then pull all the way back down. And again, you can see how that's going to create volume within this look or any look without taking the length. And then you're going to still have a beautiful blend. And I'm going to move on into my styling segment. But, to answer your question, Brittany, the cut that we're doing, essentially, that's going to give you this. She has lots of layers, and just like hers, they both have, these are two different lengths, but I've done the exact same cut on both of these. This one has, a lot more of length. This one, I've decided to go shorter with, but I've preserved the length on the bottom with this haircut because again, I'm taking my section and I'll show you on her. So I'm taking my section and pulling it all the way up, like to my guide. So essentially we're going to be taking from like in this case, our guide was up here, and we'll take this section. I'll hold this section out for you guys. And I've already styled her, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So you see, when I hold that up at the top, you see anything below this is going to be too long for my guide. See how that falls out? So again, and then it's going to fall down. So hopefully that answers your question, Brittany. If you could type in the comments if that answers your question for me, that would be absolutely great. Thank you so much for your question too. And her question was, how to keep volume within a curly cut with preserving the length. And yes, Jackie, it is similar to a Farrah Fawcett, as I would say. I'm actually going to be teaching a butterfly haircut next month, so make sure you guys tune back for that as well. So to kind of to kind of talk about Farrah Fawcett a little bit more. So now I'm going to show you guys. Thank you for your question, Brittany. So now I'm going to show you guys again. I'm going to go in and show you guys my styling technique now too. So again, I've already went in and brushed out her curls on this side, and this is what the technique looks like once it is fully dry. And again, I'm just going to take and brush for you guys really quick just to show you. I'm taking my Lonza detangle brush here, curl detangle brush. I absolutely love this for detangling curls. It's also really great when you add the arms on for giving volume, even within straight hair. So that's another little hot tip for you guys. So again, you can see there, here is our 360 haircut. And this mannequin, I give her some bangs. And I just kept the bangs separate from the haircut here. But you see how she has all this volume, but she still has all this length and movement and just, gorgeous curliness. So I absolutely love it. So let me show you guys how I am going to be styling on this mannequin here. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to move on to the styling segment. So now I'm going to show you guys with that cut kind of how I like to style within that cut. And I'm going to just section her off. So we're doing the back, and I'm going to be finishing this haircut on her off camera just for time purposes, but I did just want to show you guys, several different things today. I'm just taking and clipping this up. Find what's on here. And again, we're going to be taking, where's my water bottle? I'm so sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. There it is. Darn thing. Lost it. Do you guys ever do that? Lose your water bottle? I apologize, guys. So we're going to be taking and wetting our hair down just with some handy dandy water. And this is for our styling segment. So again, we went over our color segment, our cutting segment, and now we're moving on to style. So what I'm going to do is make sure that, yes, it was many years ago. I'm going to be taking a Denman, and then to style her hair, I have prepped her off camera with Curl Therapy and KHO Healing Oil to add moisture and essentially to trap the moisture in with the KHO. These are my favorite cocktail to create, happy, healthy curls. And then to style her curls today, we're going to be taking Curl Whirl with Curl Flex for this styling demonstration. And I'm going to be putting it in sections just to show you guys. And I'm going to be taking kind of about equal amounts here. I'm sorry, I still have my gloves on from my color, and just kind of cocktailing those together. At Lonza, we call this a curl teeny, and this is considered an old fashioned, if you will. That's what we call it. And notice I'm going to take it through, and I'm just kind of putting it through. Notice I'm not really raking. I'm just kind of putting it on the surface. And then what I like to do after that is take again my Lonza curl brush and detangle that through. Again, this works to not only detangle the curls, but also evenly distribute the product. And then we will be taking our Denman here, and we are going to be styling these beautiful curls that we have colored and cut today. So what I'm going to be doing is essentially I'm just going to go in and twist. And what this is going to do is create an even and uniform, pattern in between the curl. And as you can see how that really starts to, how she's going to have like a lot of definition there. So I'm going to show you guys another section. And again, essentially what I'm doing, I'm going through, making sure we've already detangled, but I'm going to kind of brush it through once. I'm just going to take my brush and twirl. So again, well, that section fell out on me there, guys. And if you have a piece like that, just start over. It's totally fine. So you take, spin, 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 and you work your way all the way down to the bottom. And then that's going to create a nice and uniform curl for us to style. So, and again, I'll ask, has anyone had any questions so far? I know I've went over quite a bit of material today. So again, we're going to take and just spin our Denman brush. And I mean, it doesn't have to be a Denman. It really could be, any type of brush where you're able to twirl. And then go all the way down on the bottom. And again, this is going to create a beautiful defined curl within this look. And this is universal for all curl types. And an easy way to think of it for anybody that uses a curling iron a lot, it's sort of just like twisting out with a curling iron, if that makes sense. And then we have our section. I'm going to do one more section for you guys as well right here on the side here. And again, when doing this, I would just follow this around the whole head. I'm just showing you guys because I wanted to really give you guys a lot of bang for your buck today. So I apologize if this has moved very quick for you guys. Take our water. And then again, we'll take our equal parts of our Curl Whirl and Curl Flex here. Take a little bit less because it's just one section to show you guys. We're going to kind of work that in, again, kind of surface applying. And I like to apply in sections to make sure, the reason for that is I want to make sure that I get even product distribution within my curls. So I think, that's something really important to know when you're styling curls. Product is key and making sure you have an even application. And again, hopefully you guys can all see here. So again, we're just going to take and we are going to twirl all the way down to the bottom. And see, it creates that beautiful kind of, now she's got like an even curl pattern throughout. And then what I'm going to do, you can do it two ways. Once you are happy with the way that your set, like what I just did looks, you can either take a diffuser and diffuse. If I'm going to do that, I will go in with low speed and low heat and, just simply go in and diffuse. One thing I want to talk about too, so when you do diffuse, there's two ways of diffusing. So if you're going up like this, you're encouraging, shrinkage, and you're encouraging that curl to have more curl. And if you're just hovering, and hovering would be where you just kind of let it, again, hover over the sections, that's going to just kind of put the curl wherever you want. So it just depends on the look you and your client are going for. I like to, give a little bit of that shrinkage, if you will, give a little bit tighter curl. And then I'll go in and again, just turn a little bit of diffusing on for you guys. And again, that's going to give me a little bit of a tighter curl because I'm encouraging the curl. I'm helping it. I'm giving it a support system. Where if I just go like this and I do a hover, I'm just hovering over the curl. So again, this is encouraging and this is just hovering. Does that make sense to everyone? Hopefully that was a good quick technique for you guys. I absolutely love that. And, to show you guys kind of how all of these techniques, applying together, this is like our finished result. Now on her, like I said, I used healing color and then I actually chose to use liquids on her ends. So this is kind of the finished result of, those techniques we did. So again, We went over using healing color at the base with vibes on the ends, and as you can see, it's starting the process there. And then we also went over our 360 haircut, which, again, as you see, gives us nice long length within our curl, and it gives us that nice kind of cupped but layered effect on her here. And then I have taken and styled with my Denman. And then again, to show you guys kind of what it looks like on a shorter length, I did those same techniques, but on this mannequin here, she already had shorter hair, so I just kind of went with it. But I wanted to showcase, techniques that you could use with any length, not just short, not just long, not just curly, not just straight. These are universal techniques. So again, we went over, the importance of using our mixed tones, which are pure pigment. And again, when we're thinking about all of these girls had a dark base, so they all, were roughly, level three and four to begin with. So again, like with her, I took my formulas here, so I don't tell you I was wrong. So this was 7cc at the top, 8G and 7RR with 40 volume. And the reason, I just wanted to show you guys something a little different too. I know we've been talking about mixed tones, but I wanted to kind of showcase, you can kind of see this mannequin was actually a lighter base, but see how even though she, Miss Ketsia here, she was even way darker, how that 40 volume with, just the pure mixed tones, how much brightness I got with that. And I just wanted to showcase a little variation here. So this is 7cc, 7 grams, or 70 grams of 7cc, and then 30 grams of 8G with 15 grams of 7RR with 40 volume, and of course, trauma treatment in the mix. And then on the ends here, I use liquids with 70 grams of 8cc, 30 grams of 6RR, and 15 grams of 9G. I wouldn't actually mix that much color for a client. I wanted to make it easy for formulation for you guys. So I just used those formulations for that. But again, you see how it creates, when we have those ends, with my mannequin here, we have somebody that comes in with a dark base and lighter ends. How, sometimes utilizing, our mixed tones and then our vibes, vibes is my favorite hair color ever. And, you wouldn't really think there's a lot of, cohesiveness between the base and the ends. And again, her base, just like on my girl here, her base, I used the healing color, and her ends, I used, the vibes. So, you see how it created quite an even look. And then this one, I wish I had a picture of her before. She had even lighter ends, and I had done kind of a halo section. And that's why I chose to utilize liquids on her, just to show you guys, something a little bit different. But just to show you guys, kind of what look, depends on what look you're going for. We're the artists, so we kind of pick and choose what we decide to do. And if I want to make sure, hello, Peggy, thank you for joining me. I want to ask too, again, if we had any questions today about anything we did, if we had any questions about the style or, the color, the cut that we went over, any questions for me before I, get off here for you guys for the day. I want to make sure too that I send huge gratitude out for you guys joining me on a Monday. I absolutely love, to sit and talk hair. I could talk hair all day, but I know that our lives get busy, and I appreciate you all very much for being here with me on a Monday. And like I said, I wanted to showcase you guys, multiple different techniques on different hair lengths, different hairstyles, different hair textures. And I think with curls, curls really do deserve a lot of love and attention. And I think it's really important to showcase them, especially when I'm doing something like this, like a live. So I wanted to showcase these techniques for you on curls. So I absolutely love the way that, the finished result is with this, the look it gives me. It's very dimensional, very easy. But as you can see, like with my application here, I did it in one step. So super easy, super simple. And I have, my wish for you guys also too, I would absolutely love if you guys would try something you learned today, tag me and tag Lonza Hair Care. I love to hear from you guys. I make sure to share your work. You can follow me on Instagram at Cami Stylist, and then Cameron Dakota Hancock on Facebook. I love to follow you guys back. I love to engage with you guys. I'm very friendly, so I'm always here for you. And if I'm give you guys another second, if anybody had any questions, make sure for speak now or forever hold your peace. I will also go back through the video, and if I missed anyone's question, I will go back through and make sure that I answer you personally. So, and feel free to reach out to me. I truly am very friendly, and I, love sharing the Wands of Love with you guys. And I just want to make sure that you guys have all of the tools that you need. And again, like I said, please try one of these things out. Tag me, tag Wanza. And for any of my brand consultants or any of my salons watching, if you would like to book me to showcase any of these techniques, I would love to be in your salon. I am very passionate about curls, but let me show you a little surprise cameo here from my girls here. I'm also into the zodiac signs, so I also wanted to showcase. This is a color I did this weekend. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful split moment for the sign Libra. And this was last month. This was for Miss Virgo. And this was all utilizing Wanza vibes, the same thing that I used here. So again, you see these are all very different looks, but this was, like her ends here, this was all Wanza vibes. So again, and this is the color I'm talking about, the color we used on the ends today. So